and welcome to Silent Factory, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of David Bowie's Outside album. I'm your host, Leo, and in today's episode we are going to talk about the recording and production of Outside, a concept album subtitled The Nathan Adler Diaries, a hypercycle. Outside was released on 25th September 1995 through Virgin Records in the United States and Arista Records, BMG and RCA Records in other territories. It was Bowie's 20th studio album and his first collaboration with Brian Eno since their Berlin trilogy in the late 1970s. The album was inspired by Bowie's interest in art crimes, cyberculture, and dystopian fiction. It features a complex narrative involving a detective named Nathan Adler who investigates a series of ritualistic murders in a near-future society. The recording and production of Outside took place between March 1994 and February 1995 at Mountain Studios in Switzerland. Bowie and Eno used various experimental techniques such as cut-up lyrics, improvisation, randomization, and collage to create a dense and eclectic musical soundscape that blends art rock, industrial music, jazz, and ambient elements. We will explore some of these techniques and their effects on the album's structure, themes, and mood. We will also hear some excerpts from the album's songs and interludes that illustrate its narrative arc. So sit back, relax, and join me as we dive into the dark and mysterious world of Outside. This is Silent Factory.
Yeah. Wait. You got it.
Yeah. No, actually, that isn't the one before.
Oh.
That's the first of the three, and then there's the Brian Ferry sounding.
Oh, strangers will be me.
Yes.
10 years ago.
That's a great song. I think.
What film title should we use?
Lovely song, I think.
In March 1994, recording for Outside commenced at Mountain Studios in Montreux, Switzerland. Bowie, Eno, and David Richards, the co-producer of Never Let Me Down, 1987, and the Buddha of Suburbia, were responsible for production. Unlike the Berlin albums, Bowie and Eno were determined to create something new. According to Eno, "We don't want to make another record of a bunch of songs. There's got to be a bigger landscape in play than that." Returning Bowie collaborators included Gabrels on guitar, Erdal Kizilkay on bass, and Mike Garson on piano. Additionally, Soul Asylum drummer Sterling Campbell, whom Bowie praised for his spontaneity and inventiveness, returned from Black Tie. Campbell plays a song differently every time. There are different shades of his teacher, Dennis Davis. Contrary to Bowie's recent works, most of the tracks in this project were composed spontaneously in the studio. Some of them were even completely improvised.
Wow.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's really magnificent.
That's the opening track.
It's so weird, I think. And dark and kind of murky and
yeah. You know what I mean about that Carl Orpheum?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, and
whoa.
also,
And they're all looped, of course. They're just, I took that thing of the looping of the little, and I just divided up the times.
Right.
And had this multitude of little funny voices. And there's them I go, whoa! Really, kind of scary little voice in there.
It's got that sort of medieval carnival atmosphere.
Absolutely, Bruegel-esque.
Yeah,
thing,
exactly. Yeah.
It's Icarus falling, and everybody's caring about their work, and it's this awful, strange thing happening down here at the bottom, the Paul Dance type figure.
Yeah.
It was kind of. I was thinking that's what it was. It's kind of Bruegel-esque about what I was trying to get across. The village and the dance, that sort of. The leather hats.
Right, yes, it fits in with a small plot of land. Right, I get the
Well, what happened, you see, that was part of the lyric, but by the time I'd finished, I realised it was no longer in there, because they buried him, in my linear story, they buried him in a small plot of land at the bottom of a hill near the village, but that kind of got left out of it, but I thought it was such a nice title.
Great title, yeah.
But it's sort of, I thought, well, damn it, the line doesn't have to be in the song at all.
No, it's a great title.
That's where that's going, like. Do you want to hear another one?
Sure.
Got one more. The others Motel
During the sessions, Bowie and Eno experimented with techniques previously used in the Berlin trilogy, including Eno's oblique strategies cards. These cards were a combination of fortune cookie and chance cards from the Monopoly game designed to inspire creative ideas. Each card had a character written on it, such as, "You are the disgruntled member of a South African rock band. Play the notes that were suppressed." Bowie explained that the cards established the mood for each day and led the music in obscure directions. rarely falling into cliches. Eno believed that the cards helped the musicians break free from their usual selves. While Garson and Gabrels embraced the cards, Kieselke initially found them perplexing and useless. He later criticized Eno's methods to biographer Mark Spitz, claiming that Eno couldn't even play 4 bars or 2 harmonies together, and wondered how he became famous. During the recording sessions, Bowie primarily focused on his painting. Eno revealed that Bowie was initially hesitant to participate in the creation of the music, often only joining in when something interesting caught his attention. In his diary entry dated 3rd March 1994, Bowie expressed satisfaction with the direction of the music, and even had plans to remake the Buddha track Dead Against It, although it never materialized. To craft the lyrics, Bowie used an Apple Macintosh program that employed the same cut-up technique he had previously used for albums like Diamond Dogs, 1974, inspired by William S. Burroughs. Bowie explained that he selected words from various sources, including poems, articles, magazines, and newspapers, and fed them into the program, which then produced a jumbled output that he could rework to his liking. Each musician had their own space within the studio, which, according to Trinka, contributed to the overall arrangement as an art happening. Garson described the studio environment as one of the most creative he had ever experienced, with musicians freely playing without any given key, tonal center, or form.
Upon their fears, while we're swimming in the sea of shame, living in the shadow of vanity, a complex fashion for a simple man.
The sessions were also captured on camera by a film crew, who Garson noted recognized the special quality of the recordings. The backing tracks were completed within a span of 10 days, and overdubs were added intermittently until November 1994. The recording sessions yielded roughly 25 to 30 hours of material, which were eventually edited down to a 2-CD improvised opera entitled Leon. The mixing of the material was carried out at Westside Studios in London. Initially, Eno proposed releasing the work with a black cover and without any artist name attached, similar to Prince's The Black Album, 1994, as a standalone artistic entity that would generate interest for the next project. However, as per biographer Chris O'Leary, bootlegging of the material resulted in Bowie dismissing the Leon concept altogether. In 2003, Gabrels noted on his website that Leon could have been a weighty musical statement and possibly even more controversial than Tin Machine. Bowie initially faced resistance from record labels due to the experimental nature of the Leon recordings, which they deemed uncommercial. Gabrels explained that he was never explicitly told that the recordings were rejected for commercial reasons, but rather felt that releasing Leon would have been commercially unwise, and that more conventional tracks needed to be recorded.
The trouble with this band is that when you want to stop it, suddenly somebody comes up with another great bit of play. And you can't, there's no hole to stop anybody, because nobody runs out of ideas. That's the trouble.
Yeah, you think, I'll just let this bit
Just let this bit, and at the end of reads, then, oh, Mike, that's great. That's like, oh, Christ, I've let it go on for another 2 minutes. It's really an odd experience.
Bowie subsequently chose to record additional songs during sessions at the Hit Factory in New York City from January to February 1995. These included Outside, Through These Architects' Eyes, We Prick You, I Have Not Been to Oxford Town, No Control, a new version of the Buddha track, Strangers When We Meet, and reworkings of Hello Spaceboy and I'm Deranged. The new sessions also saw the addition of guitarist Carlos Alomar, former bandleader of Bowie's who was fired after the 1987 Glass Spider tour, Tin Machine contributor Kevin Armstrong on Through These Architects' Eyes, and jazz drummer Joey Barron. Armstrong's song Now was adapted into the title track. According to Trinka, Armstrong recorded his contributions at Westside.
20:00 is so weird. It's the most interesting.
It is 20:00.
Yeah. I think we should go for that.
Zero. I think we will see that song. It's 20:00. Get with it out.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Silent Factory. Thanks for tuning in and exploring the world of David Bowie's Outside with us. Join us next time as we take a closer look at some of the album's concepts and story. Until then, keep on listening, and we'll see you next time.